We arrive at the end of level 4. The first thing is to really congratulate you for getting through this level and indeed all the levels so far. Hopefully you're feeling that your Spanish is gradually increasing in power and that you're really making some kind of tangible progress. In other words, that you're actually getting somewhere. Although we have a long way to go, we've also come a long way. We've covered a lot so far. And I'd like you to make sure that you're solid on all of that before you continue moving forward. Because as we know, the worst thing that you can do in language learning is to be in a rush. So remember that we've been through 7 modal verbs so far: to want, to be able to have to like, to need, the modal verb of going to, and the one we just did where we have just with the past. Something that's very important is our structure that we use with these modal verbs. So we would have modal verb followed by an infinitive, the full verb, and then we would combine that with pronouns on the end. So again, we have 7 modal verbs which we've used in all 5 angles. We have about 45 full verbs that we've worked with so far, and we've been playing around with 9 different pronouns. We also spent a lot of time looking at the present tense, especially when it came to conjugating regular verbs, regardless if they end in AR, ER, or IR. So it's important not to lose that ability to be able to conjugate into all the angles. We have 5 of them: I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Then we also looked at the present progressive. So this is where we use this ing with verbs, and we combine that with the verb estar. We had power pushes, where we added very useful words into our sentence structure, such as quien, nadie, todo el mundo, gracias por, and there are a bunch of other ones as well. Something that hopefully you enjoyed in this level was the picture vocabulary, and this is something that I would like you to continue doing yourself, continue with your own images and to build your own vocabulary, because while this course is mostly focusing on sentence structure and how the language works, it's very important that on the side you continue to build your own vocabulary. Related to that, we looked at nouns and plurals. So we saw as a general rule how masculine nouns end in an o, feminine nouns end in an a, but also we have other nouns where we are unsure. We have to look them up to see whether they're classified as masculine or feminine, because they can end in a d or an r, for example. And then we looked at how Spanish treats those when we convert them into plural. Even how it can affect other words in a sentence, such as mucho going to mucha, muchos, or muchas. Now, along with the 45 full verbs that we've used in our practicing so far, we also had about 9 pronouns. So these are very useful and very important little words that we tag on to the end of verbs. We also did quite a bit of practice with things like conmigo, contigo, con él, con ella, and so forth. And then the sister of that, para mí, para ti, para él, para ella, and again, so forth. We saw how accents over particular letters can drastically affect the pronunciation, and how you must always pay attention to where the accent points are over words. So in closing, it's very important to go back and review all of this information on a regular basis, because you want to keep it fresh in your mind. As we move forward into the upper levels, we're going to be adding more and more layers to our Spanish. This means that the complexity of what we're able to express will increase. But what we want is for the structure beneath that to not crumble. In other words, we want to always stay solid and secure with what we've learned. So now's the time to go back and review anything if you're unsure about it. Assuming everything is okay and you're feeling confident, I'll see you in level 5.